The final season of all state-only challenges have arrived. Season 5. As Season 4 officially comes to an end with the Chicago Bears winning the Super Bowl. We missed the playoffs by about a game and a half. CJ Stroud is the MVP. The yearly awards over on the right-hand side, you can see all of them. We did not have any winners for any of the awards this year. We did have a Pro Bowler in Tony Pollard at kick returner. But as we get going today, the course of our final season could be greatly impacted by checking the retirements. Dak Prescott and Chris Jones, those are the worries. But neither retire. Kevin Byard does. He was mostly just a mentor for us at safety, and Preston Smith, one of our backups for the defensive line for the last few seasons. So we do have some depth roles to fill, but quarterback and DT, not under question. But just because players do not retire doesn't mean that there isn't regression. As I believe Hyatt, he might have been a superstar, no longer the case. In fact, we don't have a superstar on this offense, as Dak Prescott did regress that dev trait. He did regress a little bit overall. He's coming in still with pretty good deep accuracy, solid short. Medium is a little bit of a worry at an 81. Throw power did drop by 1, but he still has some mobility. Injury at an 86, well, we definitely need to make sure we keep him clean. Defensively, though, this is where a lot of our talent lies, as Chris Jones does see massive regression. He also drops down to a star, now just an 83 overall. Does still have really good power moves, a true 87. The strength is still there. Block shedding, though, only an 81. We'll see if he still takes up a lot of those double teams, leaving a lot of single blocks for Williams, Deo, and Dockery. Good news, though, is Golson does still maintain his X factor. Emerson, I think, is another guy who did drop down to a star. And same is even said for Charvarius Ward, who also didn't really see much regression at all. So that is really good, as we are getting back Emerson, who did finish the last year injured. We should be very much set up at the cornerback spot. Defensive line, I'm happy with. We'll see if there's any additions that could be made for the linebacker group, and potentially at safety. Safety is my biggest concern with this defense. Other spots where we could look to see some improvement, I feel like, is running back, as pretty much all of these guys have seen a regression. In fact, Zach Evans is now the highest overall, as even Gainwell has regressed at 29 years old. So running back will be a potential option for us this offseason. Now, in terms of negotiations, we pretty much took care of all of the big ones going into this last year. All we really have are some fifth-year options here for Mike Golson and Seth Covington, but this is our final year, so the fifth-year options don't really matter. We'll just go ahead and reject them just to make sure that we're not taking up cap space that we could possibly use this season. The last spot here, Joe Milton. He's someone I would consider re-signing. We've obviously talked about trading away Arrington, and that might need to be the case this offseason. Milton still has his arm strength. The accuracies are kind of the opposite that they're of Dak Prescott. The short accuracy is really good, meanwhile the deeper accuracy is the lesser. He's got the speed. It was really just the awareness that was keeping him from being a starting quarterback. But again, all of our options have to be open this offseason. So in terms of trying to keep talent on roster and then maybe look to trade it, we will offer a larger contract here. We'll make it a 4-year deal worth $12 million per season. He was looking for 10.3 for 3 years, and he does re-sign. We will also put in an offer here for Grant Foote. He's the fullback. We don't use it that often, but I'd like to have him just in case. So 3-year deal, $5 million per season, and he will stick around. Everyone else here on this list, we will let walk for now. That doesn't mean we don't look to bring any of these guys back. Now, as for signing new free agents, we actually have a really good class here. Not that we need more help for the offensive line, but they're sitting there. So we're going to bring them in. Whether they start or they're just really good depth, we'll find out. Elton Jenkins, trying to bring him in. Talked about running back. Jalen Wright is available in 82. There's also Willie Gay. For some reason, off the top of my head, I cannot remember if he's an off-ball backer or an edge rusher. Either way, we could use depth or maybe even a starter there. So we'll just bring him in for wherever he fits. I did find Reed Blankenship as well. We talked about maybe some help for the safety group. Now, he is not very fast. 84 is his speed. He does have 92 acceleration though. Don't know if he'd be better at free safety or strong. Either way, I would like to bring him in just for more help at that group. And then going back to the offensive line, Dylan Parham, who I feel like we had at one point in this series. We traded him. He might be finding his way back here. So let's go through our first evaluations here. We are top for everybody, and all but one to sign in Parham. And we do bring in all four. That is really good news for us. There is at least one other position that I know that there's a guy I would like to bring in. And good news is, no offers coming in for him. Bryce Huff. He's 30 years old at this point. We just had one of our depth defensive linemen retire. Another guy we did not look to re-sign. I would like to bring in him for, again, just having that depth. So we'll put in a decent offer. And as no one else has, we should be in a pretty good spot there. And for more help for that group, there is Tershawn Wharton. He's listed at DT, but he does have 78 speed. I think he would provide us a little bit of some flexibility as well. No other teams going after him. Will give him a one-year deal worth $6 million, and again, should put us in a pretty good spot. So let's just go ahead and take a look then at the overall group, as I've pretty much got all the top-end talent I'm looking for, leaving us with 22 mil in cap. Parham still hasn't decided. We're technically still on top, but the Browns are coming in. He's not going to be a starter for us, so I'm not going to press too hard. We'll evaluate one more time. He has made his decision, and that decision is not to come back here. But we hit on everyone else. That is a really good free agent class for us. And that was not a pop-up I was expecting. Apparently during self-scouting, we saw some things on tape that have led to Dak Prescott losing 4 points in both arm strength and deep ball accuracy. He already had regression going in. Now they add even more. Why you gotta do us like that, Madden? This is the final season. So with that forced regression, it now puts Joe Milton and Dak Prescott almost at the same exact spot in terms of overall. You're gonna have much better awareness here with Dak Prescott, but now there is major concern with him heading into this season. He again had 89 arm strength. His deep ball accuracy was in the 90s. No longer the case. So things getting interesting here. Don't think I like that very much. So with that fun news, we now have to change our focus over to the draft, despite just receiving some bad information. As for the draft, we have all our selections outside of the 3rd round. So we do have the possibility of hitting big here with a 1st or 2nd round pick, and there are options for us towards the top. If we wanted more help for the line, for the defensive line, there is Chase Bolden, who is a 1st round speed rusher. I don't really think we need that. I think we're pretty good there. So where I'm looking at possibly our best option being is Javon McCain, a round 2 to 3 true round 1 talent here at safety. Now we did obviously just sign Blankenship, but it's always good to have the talent. 5'10", 209, 23 years old out of Tennessee. He's got good speed with some pretty good bench reps as well. Overall, he looks to be a pretty fantastic athlete. Looking at this skill set directly, he has C man coverage, B zone with some good block shedding awareness. Play rec though is cause of concern. It is a D. I feel like he would probably fit best in at free. And, you know, we could shift some guys around if possible. So Javon McCain is definitely an option. In around 2 to 3, picking with an earlier, if he is available in the 2nd round, he could be a really good pickup for us. Other guys that we could end up looking for in the 2nd round here, there is some corner help. Round 2 to 3, obviously just made some trades. There is a late DT who was a day 3, as well as batting another corner that was a day 3, both of which are projected round 2 to 3. So it looks like this class is going to be pretty good for just finding that overall good depth. Maybe not so exactly that key starter that we need, because I have an idea maybe at safety if we could figure out how to do it. We'll definitely check that as we jump into the 1st round. So getting this thing going, we don't pick until the 12th spot here. Now, it could be possible one of the guys that's available to us is still available. We're just simply going to jump to our pick because we're not specifically going after anyone here. We'll see what our options are of the guys that are left, and then we're going to check in on that position group I was thinking of. As the outside linebacker is still there, I just don't think we need help there. The wide receiver didn't look that good. We have our top three. The running back didn't look that good either, and we just signed Wright. So outside of Javon McCain, who potentially could be there in the second round, there's something I want to check first. Now, we missed on the chance to draft him last year. He's a star dev. I expected he might have been an X factor with the ratings that he came in with. He is having some morale hitting him here, so the ratings are even better than what we see. He would be a free safety, as the zone is far better than the man, but he would have 71 man. Overall, really good just balance for us. Tackling is at a good spot. Block shedding is what it is. Play rec is there. Awareness is there. The question is, would the Chargers be willing to make a trade? At first, they tell us no. But turns out, they were much more willing. So what we give up is Blankenship. We just signed him. We will send him over to replace Dune. So we kind of trade safeties. We'll get a third-round pick this year. We obviously give them our first this year. We give them a third in 2030, a fifth in 2030, and a sixth in 2030, plus a sixth in 2029. So we do give up a good handful, but that is going to be a massive upgrade for a secondary that has consistently been in the bottom 10. And with that, we do still maintain that second round pick, and who knows, maybe something does pop up there for us. So we will jump to that selection, just taking a quick look at the players that went. I don't see the safety that went there either. And in fact, he did not go. So Javon McCain, we could still look to bring him in. Of the players that we know the ratings of, he's the only player left that is a first round talent. So again, in the same aspect of trying to add as much talent as possible, Javon McCain is our selection. Round 2 to 3, took him about mid-second round, and we get a B grading on him. He was ranked 19th. We got him at spot 44, and he is a normal dev though. We'll see what spot he fits best at. Now, just a little while down the line, first pick here of the third round, as we did get that pick in the trade, there is the cornerback here in Dominique Atkinson, who is a round 2 to 3. Outside of some day 3 talent, he seems to be the best projection here. He's a slot archetype, 6'1", 192, pretty good size, out of Ole Miss. He's got decent speed with a little bit of some bench reps. As for skill set, D zone, C man with good tackling. Press is very interesting. He doesn't appear to be that great of a player. He does have block shed, but talent grade says 2 to 3, so we will trust it here. We'll bring in a depth corner. Always could use some depth there, and a B+. He's 55 ranked. We got him 65, so we're doing pretty well in this draft by trusting it. Now, as for our fourth round selection at spot 12, there is the DT and Isaiah Kelly, who is a round 2 to 3. There's another corner if we want to go after him, but I feel like we might be looking more at Kelly here. 6'2", he's a big boy, 354, 21 years old, with about 40 bench reps on average between the two. Decent 40 for it. He's got the play rec, the block shedding's there, provides a little bit of pass rush moves as well. I think he would be a great player to add, so we will not pass him up. Now, please tell me, we're going to get above a B+ here, or we're going to hit exactly on a B+. 66 ranked, we get him at 108. Now into the fifth round, that corner did end up going, that was the talent of 2 to 3. There is Calvin Farmer who is available. He is a day 3, we know that to be true, and he's the only one whose grading we have left that we know is draftable talent. Again, we just had some guys end up retiring or moving on, so just adding some depth here would not be amiss. He has a pretty decent blend of speed to strength. His power moves are a C. The rest of the moves are kind of lacking, but he does have some power moves. Some tackling there as well. Injury's not great. We'll go ahead and add him. I don't expect the grading, though, to be fantastic on him, and it is a C+. His true rank was 159. We grabbed him at 140. Now, with a couple more selections left here, this is our 6th round pick. There is Kevin Walker, a day 3 talent. Not as much information known, but one of the 2 remaining projected draftable players, and it doesn't give us a potential undrafted as his true talent. So let's take a look here at Kevin Walker. 6'3", 225, 22 years old. He's not a burner. He's got some decent strength to his game. He could jump for considering how high he already is, or tall he already is. Catching traffic is not very good. Deep route running, he's got a little bit, not so much of the medium. Short is unknown, could be up to a C. You know, we could use maybe a little bit of depth. It's an option. And as for other options for guys that actually improve their draft grade, is another fullback and a center. I really don't think we need any more help for the offensive line, so looks like we're going to draft Kevin Walker here. I don't expect it to be a great selection, pure depth, maybe he's practice squad. We'll end up seeing what that rating is. Ranked 190, we got him 172, it's a C+. And really, of everyone left here, they don't look very intriguing. I don't think trading away a 7th round pick is really going to help us out here. We had struggles at kicker last year, so I'm thinking we add a kicker to the practice squad. Dan Weiss will be the final selection here of the series. And he is a C, being ranked 104. We get him at 204, 100 picks later. And that is a C. All right, then. So taking a look at our draft class, it actually is pretty good here. Javon McCain comes in a 75 overall, getting a boost up to a 76. Again, he is that normal dev. He's definitely got the zone. Man is sitting pretty good. Outside of the play rec and awareness, he does resemble the other safety that we traded for in Dune. So it should just be really good depth here for us, and hopefully we don't need it. Might he still maybe even start at free and Dune start at strong? That is an option for us. As for Atkinson, he's a 72 up to a 73 normal dev corner, and he's coming in with definite man ability. Zone needs a lot of work. He's going to be bottom of the depth chart, but we did need to add some bodies there. And Isaiah Kelly, he ends up being the hidden dev with the ratings that we saw, or grading that we saw. I expected he could be a 72 true overall, and he's coming in not with as much balance as I was expecting with the pass rush moves, as both the power and finesse were given C's. It was B block shed, and yeah, he could definitely fill in with that spot for sure. So we have good depth for the interior of the defensive line. And surprisingly, we did get another hidden dev here for the depth for the outside of the defensive line. Calvin Farmer here, a true 67 overall, but does have the dev trait. Block shedding 66 with 69 power moves. He's definitely not going to see much playing time this year, but depth is still needed. Now, Kevin Walker surprises me a little bit with the overall being a 67. The grading didn't look that good, but he actually comes in with some decent ability here, a good baseline. Plus with 81 release, there's at least a really good positive to his game. He's not going to get onto the field. Maybe we'll make that final 53 man. We will soon find out. And as for Dan Weiss, the kicker, 70 overall. He's coming in with 87 kick power, 77 accuracy. So definitely will be practice squad, though I wouldn't be surprised if he gets signed from that fairly quickly. And getting through the preseason, we had a pretty good affair here. 3-0. Closest game was against the Packers as we won 20-17. But I feel like these QB stats are going to be pretty important for how we start the year. And it would seem that both of them would give us the number 1 offense. Defense, much better than where we've seen us ranked at 10th. But really, these individual stats might be key. And you could definitely argue Joe Milton outperformed Dak Prescott with very similar attempts, 53-52. Milton had 5 touchdowns compared to Dak's 2. Both quarterbacks threw an interception. And Milton had the much better completion percentage, 71% to 59. Yardage-wise is about another 150 yards here for Milton. So it looks like Joe Milton might yet again be our starting quarterback heading into the season. And what's unfortunate about that is Prescott is an award winner / bridge quarterback. He is not a mentor. Not that I'm sure that would really end up helping out Joe Milton. Of course, there was also Kenny Arrington, but he did not see the field. Running the ball, Wright did average 4.3 a rush. Prescott, he averaged 4.6. As for Milton, he was at 3.2. Touchdown-wise, Prescott ran for one, so did Zach Evans. Receiving, Hyatt continues to lead the team here, 303 touchdowns. Knox had a touchdown, so did Tillman and Allen Belton. Now, to help sort out the roster, he was moved back to receiver this year. He was listed at both tight end and receiver last year. Bass is moving back up to tight end too, and he did a pretty decent job with his attempts. Defensively, Charvarius Ward actually led us in tackles. He had 17. We racked up a good amount of TFLs. Chris Jones led us there, which is good to see because he did see some massive regression. Sack-wise, Deo hit with 2. Bryce Huff had 1. Interceptions, 3 for Morgan Pittman. Well, if he could go off this year, that would be great. Did not see any for the new additions at safety. Richardson, though, did get 1, but he is now the 3rd safety on this roster. And it looks like we were forcing fumbles as well, as Charvarius Ward and Nathaniel Watson both forced 1, but somehow we recovered 4. Not exactly sure how that worked. We did have a blocked kick, no safeties though. Of those turnovers, none were for touchdowns. And to finish off the stats of the preseason, 10 of 10 goes Elliott on extra points, but 5 of 7 on his field goals. He made all the ones from 29, made all of his ones from 39. He missed 1 in between 39 to 49, and then missed 1 from 50 plus. So he still seems to be a little bit hit or miss on those longer field goals. And with that, the stage is set to officially kick off Season 5. Joe Milton back in at quarterback. He does provide the best arm strength and throwing accuracies to continue the offense as we have been running it. Jalen Wright being added here at running back gives us a real threat in the running game. And what we might need this year is a bit more balance. With this offense, we focused so much on these receivers the first 4 years. Running game really wasn't part of it. Maybe now it can be. Elton Jenkins moves to center. Miller ends up being our primary backup across the offensive line. It's an extremely strong group across the way. Dawson Knox has been great at tight end. We've got a unit here on defense as well. I mean, you got X Factors, superstars at all 3 levels. Hopefully this is the year, and we finish All States Only Challenge with another victory. So let's kick this thing off. Joe Milton, back at QB1, gets the season underway as it will be a throw up top. He finds Hyatt. Now against this Chargers team who does have the better team on paper. I would love to see a balanced attack here. Wright gets his first carry and he shows off the wheels. Gain of 14, taking us just to the 48. Close though to the midfield line. Milton set to throw again, going back up top and either knocked away or dropped by DK. But that strong arm of Milton does unlock the sidelines here for us. He could zip the ball there, as he might be looking to do here yet again, as he motions out the running back, empty set. It's just a rush of 4. Dumping this one off to Knox. He'll pick up 5. And we are challenging Joe Milton this year. 35 touchdowns. That, with a balanced rushing attack, I think we could definitely make it to the playoffs and maybe even go far in it, win that Super Bowl. Well, the first challenge will be a 4th and 2. Now they are opening up the middle here. We got a strong running game, especially with the offensive line this year. Milton checks to it as they will carry right. Denied the first. He ends up a half-yard shy. Despite the injury here, it's good news for the Chargers. They get the turnover on downs. A little bit of early aggressive play there from us. Doesn't pan out. Now we need the defense to get a quick stop. A running game to start for the Chargers. Spinning off of 1 and fighting forward for a gain of 5. I think where this team really needs to find growth from last year is turnovers. Need a lot of those more consistently. This DB group is the best it could possibly be. And he finds a big strike, getting by the corner and into the end zone. Not the start we were looking for then. Chase gets the touchdown right off the turnover on downs. The offense trying to answer back. This coming off a 15-yard gain from DK. We're set up at the 37. Milton under pressure. He was in the process of throwing it. Kellum gets back there, loss of 4. We really shouldn't see too much quick rush like that. especially again with how good this offensive line is, but you never know. It is Madden. We got Mingo in motion at the bottom, looking to throw again, and we find Mingo. Not picking up all the lost yardage though, just to gain a 3. Quick tackle there from the defenseman. Leaves 3rd and 11. We are at about the outskirts of our field goal range. We got Knox in motion, sending him back to the bottom. Will be a throw from Milton. And coming up well short, intended for DK. Now, do we trust Elliott here? Well, as DK heads off the field, and we do bring out Elliott. This one a 54-yarder. He's got the power, accuracy down the middle, but the deficit would widen. An 81-yard touchdown rush goes Raheem Hurst about midway into the second quarter. We do not have time this year to try to sort things out. The offense has to turn things up. Too much talent there to only have 3 points, as DK can't hold on to that one. Diving swat from White. And on paper, the Chargers defense wasn't even the best part of their team, was their offense. As we go with the run here, Wright gets slowed down from the guy that was falling to the ground. Lawrence helps clean it up. Leaves a 3rd and 7 for us. Trips go up top. We got Knox down to the bottom. Gonna send another receiver that way in Mingo. Make it 2 up top then. They only rush 4. We find the big strike to Knox. Get us by the midfield line. Gonna need a good bit more of that. We have the arm strength. Let's try to stretch the field. Use that to open up the running lanes. With a 1st and 10 at the 48. We got Dawson Knox in motion yet again. Gonna go with the handoff here, right, trying to get to the outside and corralled by the Chargers. And he does pick up a gain of 7 along the way. Sticking with motion here, we got Hyatt down to the bottom. They bring an extra guy, but we got Hyatt immediately shakes one. I think DK maybe helped push him through that. We're down inside the red zone. Love the movement here, though, from the offense. Keep the defense honest. The 1st and 10. Milton throws. Knox gets the catch. Gain of 6. I would like to be an offense that does have some consistency this year, but I would like some more consistent big pop plays. As Wright takes the handoff, inches shy of the 1st. And another injury there for the Chargers. It's Jones. So he'll exit the field here, 3rd and inches. We come out with a shotgun look, make it an empty set. Trips up top, Wright motions down to the bottom. We also have Knox down there. Quick throw, touchdown, yes, touchdown DK. Delayed confirmation, but indeed he did get the touchdown, the 2 feet down inbounds while holding that ball to the ground. Well, now we need the defense to get a stop here inside 2 minutes. Chargers are inside the 40 though, so they have already driven to start the drive, finding a big strike across the middle, just shy of the 1st. As referenced earlier, Chargers do have the better offense on paper compared to their defense. Both sides playing pretty decently out the gate. Finding another 1st down here. Chargers down to the 22. But it seems like they are struggling with injuries. The way a receiver hits the deck, he had a 1st down 2 plays ago. As they will look to continue passing, going up top, and Chase gets the catch. Gain of 5. All these DBs, good cover backers as well. These guys should not be as open as we are seeing. We move inside a minute here. Chargers taking their time. Going back up top, quickly collapsing on it, but they're still holding on to these passes. Or at least just isn't much in terms of run after the catch. 3rd and 2 here, inside 20 seconds left. We send the house. They throw it to the house and extend that lead. Chargers, they find a Dunze in the end zone. And that 11-point lead would hold well into the 3rd quarter. With 3:57 left in said quarter, our offense trying to drive down the field. Lofted ball up for DK. He drops it. He definitely has not been as impressive as I was hoping he would be for this unit. Again, we've seen better play from Mingo and Hyatt. Good run here. We're getting the 1st down. Refusing to go down was right. And if I'm not mistaken, we played against him last year. I don't remember what team he was on, and he had a really good game against us. Now, trying to do it for us, we motion him back out towards the top, inside the 30 here for Joe Milton. Good blocking. He throws it out late. 96 sheds that block. very quickly. Milton luckily got it out in time. We avoid the sack, 2nd and 10. We hand this one off for Wright as he slips one, tumbling forward. He's got the first down with 82 total yards on the day. I honestly couldn't tell you of even one time we've had a running back approaching 100 rushing yards in a game this series. 1st and 10, Milton in the pocket. Ball pops out, we jump on it. And they punch our quarterback. That's gotta be a flag, right? Probably will be a fine at least. I don't know that the hips were moving. We'll keep it clean with that. 2nd and 18. As Milton will throw. He had his guy in Hyatt. Couldn't hold on to it through the hit. That leaves us with a 3rd and long. We've got Knox down to the bottom. 3 receiver spread up top. Milton letting things develop. Lofting throw, but not lofted enough. 6 breaks it up. Had Mingo in the end zone. Hate to bring it up, but if you're a Nebraska fan, maybe that play looks badly, horrifically familiar. As it's 4th and 18, Elliott drills it. That does leave us down here by 8 as we enter the 4th quarter, 21-13. Pickett throws as they find the drag, ends up picking up 4. We know Pickett can go on and lead a team to a Super Bowl, did that with the previous States Only Challenge. We'll love to make sure that doesn't happen here. As they motion the guy out up top, opens things across the middle. They count that as an incomplete pass. We do finally break one up, though. I wish it was a fumble. Scoop and score would have been even better. 3rd and 6, pass up top. They've got it. Ward beat in what looked to be man coverage. Odunze gets his revenge for the drop and the hit on the previous play. 1st and 10, just outside the red zone. Will be a throw inside the red zone, turning up and getting a 1st down. They make it goal to go. Wiley. This is where we've got to have someone on this defense force a big play here. Turnover would be massive. Pickett with a hard count, no one jumps. We rush just 4, and he finds the strike into the end zone. Despite all the talent we still have in this secondary, they are not getting the job done. Perhaps a change of defense might be necessary. And as for now, we're going to head out here with the offense. We need to find 2 touchdowns in this one. So we need to move quickly, starting with a spread look. DK, he's going to be the deep guy. We've got him downfield, and he does get the catch at the 38. Couldn't stay in bounds. You can credit that to a throw a little bit too far to the sideline, but it did keep it away from all defenders, so in a way, I guess we will take that. Under pressure here, Milton had some targets. He takes a safe option, throws it away. But still got to find the big plays here. Once again, we got Knox. No, just kidding. That is base in motion. He goes to the flat. We send this one up for DK. Running under it. He holds on to it. A touchdown strike quickly here from the Titans offense. But our work is not done on this drive. We need to go for 2 to make things a little bit easier later on in this game. Motion in Hyatt then. Actually hold that up pretty well. And Milton comes up short of the goal line. This thing remains a wide game. We could have selected to go with the PAT there, pushed the 2-point to later. Now this one is a 9-point game. As the Chargers hand it off, quick rally from the defense. We do need a quick stop here as we need at least 2 more drives. As we move inside, 5 minutes left, it's an empty set here. Kenny Pickett, he throws up top. And we're just playing way too far off. We'll input a little bit of change of tactics here, but it might be maybe a change of playbook. We'll get a little bit more aggressiveness here out of our cover men as that pass off the mark, barely. But right now, definitely that pass coverage really shining in a bad way for this Titans team. As it's play action, Kenny Pickett throws yet again, wide open, inside the 30. Whether we sit underneath or over the top doesn't quite seem to matter here. A lack of man coverage, perhaps? As Kenny Pickett continues throwing the ball, checking this one down. Pittman gets the tackle. But we still need 2 scores in this game. The Chargers, they're in range to add on another. Field goal, I guess, would be the worst option for us. Still leave it a 2-score game. Kenny Pickett throws. They got another first. That time, Dantzler was in coverage. He's not supposed to be our main guy, but maybe Charvarius Ward, he needed a breather. So 1st and 10. Pickett throws. and holding up. He trucks through 2 defenders and finds the end zone. Odunze with one heck of a performance here in opening week. And for us, it kind of puts this one out of reach. We'll just see if the offense can end up doing anything here, as they will have to go for it on 4th. They come up short. Getting through this one as the Chargers drain the clock. That was not the game we needed to see to open up this season. 34 to just a lowly 19 points. And that loss would snowball into the next week. It was a much closer game. Offense put up some points, but the defense yet again gave up 35 plus, this time 36 points. With 400 total yards, 312 passing yards. Taking a look individually here, Lawrence has had a really good game. It looks like Milton threw an interception in this one. Dak Prescott did throw 2 passes. He completed those passes for a total of 9 yards and a touchdown. Joe Milton did have the 2. He had 70% complete. We'll have to keep an eye on his play. But starting 0-2, not good news for us. Wright did not have a good game. Lawrence scrambled around a little bit. Joe Milton did run in a touchdown, so he had a total of 3 touchdowns on this game. Receiving wise, Metcalf, that's what we've been waiting for. 11 catches, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Unfortunately, Smith and Jigba kind of overshadowed him, his real-life teammate, with 130 and 2 on just 8 grabs. McConkey also scored on us, and Tillman for us did get one into the end zone. Defensively, it looked like we got a lot of guys out there making tackles, but we didn't have a single tackle for a loss. We did have some sacks, Dockery, Deo, and Williams, but we've got to force turnovers. We need to be in the backfield. Overall, the defense still just did not perform very well. It looks like we had a good amount of deflections, but we still gave up 300 plus passing. And that was with us trying a new playbook for the defense in the Dallas Cowboys. Now we have the Indianapolis Colts, who did actually win the division last year. They're currently on top, 2-0. Texans 1-1. Jacksonville 0-2, as well as ourselves, who are at the bottom of the AFC South. Easiest way to make the playoffs is to win your division. Well, I think we got to jump on in here to this Colts game and hope that the defense finally has sorted their stuff out. So we'll get this one going. A rainy game here at home as the first quarter comes to an end with a 0-0 score line. Getting through the second, a quick field goal, though we answer with a touchdown. They get a second field goal, we get a second touchdown. They get a third field goal, and we don't get the third touchdown yet. But we do head inside the third quarter, 14-9. Make that 21-9. We find that third touchdown eventually. Fourth quarter hits. They're down at the 14. And it would look to be, it's a 4th field goal attempt. So while the defense is allowing them down inside the red zone, or at least into field goal range, they're also keeping them from scoring touchdowns, which is massive for us. 21-12, the offense takes over at the 30. As we've got motion in the backfield here, we'll set up a halfback screen to Wright. Just use that to distract the defense. Wright gets the first down, staying inbounds with a gain of about 13. Joe Milton, 2 touchdowns in this one. He does have 2 interceptions. That was what really got him benched originally, was his turnovers. Maybe Dak even would still be better if he's just not throwing turnovers. Maybe not getting as many deep balls as we do find DK. Really need him to step up his game this year. Gets a big catch there in the rain. As we move inside the 40, will be about 6.5 minutes left. Dawson knocks in motion here, trying to take our time before every play. As we find Wright out of the backfield, he will spin, not getting the first down. That's one thing I've noticed from him in the limited time we've had him. We're not quite getting those first downs as easily. Wright, though, will definitely get it this time. With a nice spin move, keeps himself a little clean out there. Or at least as much as you could do that with the rain coming down. Just outside the red zone here at the 22. We got a bunch up top, Mingo down to the bottom. We're going to add Wright down there as well. Leaving Joe Milton in the backfield. 3-man rush. Though somehow they do get pressure. We find Wright. He does power through, getting that first down before he gets suplexed. The offense moving well here as we've already eaten up about half of this fourth quarter. With 3 down to the bottom, Knox up top. We hand it off for Wright. Can't quite burst through that gap. Good tackle, 55. But we don't need a touchdown on the first play. Let things develop here. Looks like Gainwell checks in at running back. 2nd and 7. We got motion yet again. Mingo goes to the backfield as we look for the halfback screen. Ball just a little bit off with the hit. And arguably the worst part about that is it does stop the clock. At 3:54, we are up several possessions. And sack coming in. Both edge rushers hit. 4 sacks on the day, I believe that stat showed for Tennessee. First one, though, given up for the Colts, as it does force a field goal attempt here to make this one a double score advantage. So with about 2:20 left, Colts need a touchdown, get the ball back, and another touchdown to win this one. Hurts will throw, tipped away. Good coverage there from Emerson Jr. We really missed him when he left last year with injury. After that, the defense really fell apart. We need him and Golson to really hold down the outside receivers, as that's where they look. Golson jars it away. Don't want to harp on it too much as we did in that last game, but there's a lot of talent in the secondary on this defense. We should be locking people down. We need to see it. As Hurts throws, that should have been a pick 6 for Charvarius Ward. Instead, we settle for the pass breakup, and they got one more down here to try to get the first. They need to get to the 37. They're at the 47. We bring the blitz. Hurts throws, and he's got the first down. Trey McBride as the 2-minute warning hits. Hope still alive here for the Colts on their first away divisional game. As once again, we bring the blitz. They get it back out to McBride. He shakes the tackle, and he can trot to the end zone. That is why you do not give up opportunities for a turnover. This is now a 5-point game. Joe Milton has to come out here with the offense and end it. As we start with Wright, he runs into where all the defensive players were. Russo credited with the tackle, but if he cut that one to the left, there was an open gap. No gain on first down. 2nd down, we try it again. Quick claps there from the Colts defense. 2nd timeout called. We've got a 3rd and 8 following the 2-yard gain. 1st down. Might be a dagger here. Bunch goes up top. We got Mingo at the bottom. We're also going to add Wright down there as well. It'll be up to Joe Milton and the O-line here to give us time. Throwing up top. It gets picked off. The Colts will run this one back and take the lead. This is why we can't give up chances at those turnovers. They also go on to hit the 2-point conversion. They make it a field goal to tie. This game should have been over. Instead, now we have to try to find a way to get back in front. We start with a halfback screen here. We get it out to Wright. He pushes through the defender and he picks up that first. 3rd interception, though, of the day for Joe Milton has proved very costly. And I'm sure there are those that wonder if Dak Prescott would do better in this situation. Or, honestly, even Arrington. As Milton lets things develop, he will end up scrambling with it. And they say we need the 42-43 for a chance at that field goal with Elliott. We're at the opposite side of that. 2 high safeties. We might have DK here, who gets the grab. First timeout called. Good throw there from Joe Milton. Just enough to keep that away from the defender. Good hands from Metcalf. 3 go to the right-hand side. They're covering deep. Joe Milton will then just scramble instead here, sliding down. 2nd timeout call. With just 20 seconds left here, we've got to be smart with our throws, as we got one receiver and a tight end to either side. And it's up for Hyatt. Through his hands, a flag came down. Is it DPI here? No, roughing the passer. So with 15 seconds, we have a goal to go situation. 2 go to the left-hand side. They get some pressure that way. We flip it out to Knox, and it's a lead here in Tennessee. With 11 seconds left in this game, we jump back in front of the 2-0 Colts. And that would give them their first loss on the season, our first win Did we make it harder for us than it needed to be? That answer is most definitely a yes. Now that game is huge for us. 1 and 2 is where we end today. But there has to be a little bit of some worry about a couple of different things here. So we're going to take a brief look at the stats. Our offense is 4th in the league. Defensively, we are the 30th in the league. Once again, though, I wonder if that's due to the passing yards we're giving up, as we are the 3rd worst in passing yards. Rushing the ball, looks like we are actually slightly below average there too. So the defense in general, they're struggling. They've given up a lot of points, 97 points, 2nd worst, only the Commanders worse than us by 1 point. But at the same time, we've also are tied for the most amount of sacks from anyone. We haven't forced any fumbles. We do have 2 interceptions, but that really doesn't help us out much. Other teams are doing far better. The defense, just in general, needs to do better. We played 2 games inside the new playbook. One gave up 36 points. The second was almost a shutout until we started to give up some touchdowns late on in that Colts game. Hopefully the new playbook works. We'll continue toying that with next time. The last thing I do want to check here is with Joe Milton. 7 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. That is my worry with him. We're not going to get as many touchdowns, or at least we're not going to have a great ratio to touchdowns to turnovers. We can't keep putting our defenses in bad spots. We honestly need to keep our defense off the field. So maybe next time, Prescott could be an option for us. Let me know your thoughts down below. But that is where we will round off for today. We will get at least through week 8 in next episode, at least to that trade deadline, and decide if there is any last moves we need to make to get this team going, because 1 and 2 to start off is not good. It was close to being 2 and 1, which would put us tied here with Houston and above the Colts, honestly. So maybe we would even be first if we just had that one win that was the 2-point loss in week 2 to the Bengals, who are 3-0 to begin, the top team in the AFC North. Make sure you stick around to see how this series comes to an end by hitting that bear icon in the bottom right or scrolling down and hitting that sub button. Both buttons end up doing the same thing. Make sure you also tap that bell icon so you're notified of when this series goes live. All Madden content every Tuesday and Thursday. College Football 25, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with a lot of good games happening this week, so do not miss it over there. And next time, we'll start off with the Raiders. Definitely getting into that Texans game, as they are, again, just above us. We'll see you then.